sports fans and car enthusiasts, welcome to the channel and welcome to part 2 of our mystery pack review. Again, just as a reminder, we're reviewing these mystery packs where there's 10 cards each, supposedly loaded with Hall of Famers and stars. Each pack costs $12.99. The seller is Vintage Baseball Kid on eBay. And this is part 2 of a 2-part video. So we opened 4 of these in the previous video, which there'll be a link to at the end of this one. And it was mixed results. There were some decent cards in there, mostly commons that we got out of there. They were true that they were vintage from 1950s to 1970s, although there were a handful of 80s smattered in there, 1980. We did get a few kind of minor star cards, a Willie Stargell in action that had some damage, a 70 strikeout leaders for Seaver, Gibson, and Jenkins that had big creases in it, some 79s that included some Hall of Famers, Bert Blyleven, there's Rod Carew, Jim Kaat, Tom Seaver, a pretty cool 1959 Topps Mudcat Grant, and 66 strikeout leaders from 67 Topps that also has Jim Kaat on it. So we got some decent hits. We also got, a good amount of commons, but I'm kind of excited to dig into packs number 4 through 8 here and see what we got. On the tops, we got a 72 Tommy Agee. So it looks like we got a 66 Topps Don Hefner. Another 59 Red Shindish, pretty good star. And a 72 Topps Steve Rinko. Let's start with the Rinko one and dive right in and see what we get here. So, again, these packs open fairly easily. They're packaged in a nice thing where you can tear the top off. Not have to worry about, bending or damaging any of the cards. Except this time, the tearing into it kind of is a little bit problematic. So in this one, I might actually want to use the snip snips. I'll use the snip snips up top to hopefully open up that zipper there. Get that off the screen. Or is this just a weird pack that doesn't want to open? Nope, I think I almost got it. I'm there. I'm working on it. There we go. So I'll move these aside, including the snippets there. Pack number 1 features, as we noted, Steve Rinko from 1972 Topps. We have a 1959 Topps Gene Freeze. Definitely some damage to that. Lower corner looks like it's been dipped in poop. Looks like it might have been stapled at some point. So there's definitely some damage to this one. There's holes throughout quite a bit of it. The back of it looks okay. We had a 73 Topps Merv Redmond. We have a 79 Topps Tom Seaver. That's definitely a mini hit for sure. 71 Topps Willie Davis. It is beat all to hell. Very off center. Almost looks like it has been attached to a bicycle spook at some point, but probably not, or else you'd see more wear and tear increasing. But even the back has got, looks like somebody tried to ink blot out something there. But, all right. We have another one of those 1960s Fleer all baseball greats. This is Stan Hack. We have a 71 Topps Floyd Wicker. A 1980 Topps Johnny Bench. That's in okay shape. Not great. Some dings. Pretty good centering. Couple dings. No major creases. We'll count that as a mini hit there. We have another Fleer baseball greats. Mordecai Brown. And we have a 1980 Topps Eddie Murray, which is kind of a mini hit there. I think that's about $1 or so. So, a couple okay hits there. Nothing, super spectacular so far. This is the pack that starts with Red Shindish. I can never say his name right. Red Shindish? Shindish? Tell me how badly I'm pronouncing that below. It's a difficult name to pronounce. Let's admit it. Red Shindienst. Did I get it right that time? 1959 Topps. Red Shindienst. He was a good star player. Ooh, that back. Ooh. I don't know what's happened here, but that card is actually in quite bad shape. The front looked, not terrible for a 59 Topps, but certainly rounded corners and, some wear and tear, but that back looks pretty terrible. So it's hard to count that as a hit. Another one of those Fleer greats. This one is Bing Miller. We have a 73 Topps Ellie Rodriguez from the Milwaukee Brewers. It's another 73 Topps Joe Levito from the Texas Rangers. 1980 Topps Mike Caldwell. Another 79 Seaver. We're rolling in 79 Seavers. The second one of episode 1. I think we also got one in, episode 2. I think we also got one in episode 1. Let me double check. These are the hit cards from the first one. And yep, there it is. There's Tom Seaver number 3 there. So, lots of 79 Seavers. Not going short there. 71 Topps Rick Wise is next. Followed by a 79 Topps Craig Swan. Hey, we got a 1964 Topps Casey Stengel manager card. That's a good one. Certainly a hit. It's little, well, it's more than a little creased. Off center. Definitely some dings to the corners. I'll still count it as a little mini hit. It's hard to give any of these things my normal bell. We'll get little dings. And a 71 Topps Mike Corkins. It's actually in halfway decent shape for a 71. There you go. All right, pack number 3 of 4 for episode 2. Part 2 of this 2-part series. Diving in here. Again, on the top, as soon as I get this open, I'll show you that we have a 1966 card showing of Don Hefner. 66 Don Hefner. Very off-center, but the card's in decent shape, so... Alright, a 1979 Topps Mike Sadek behind him. We have a 71 Topps Red Sox Rookie Stars with Bob Montgomery and Doug Griffin. We have 71 Topps Frank Howard. Pretty good slugging first baseman, I think. Yep. We have a 1980 Topps Batting Leaders with Keith Hernandez and Fred Lynn. I don't think that's worth that much. I won't set that one aside necessarily. We do have a 72 Topps Bert Campaneris, which I think is worth $1 to $1.25, maybe a little bit more. Again, it's off center, left to right, and there's a ding in the top right-hand corner, but of the cards we've received so far, it's among the better looking ones, so not too terrible there. We'll set Bert aside. 1980 Topps Jose Cardenal. And we have a 59 Topps Hal Brown, really bad shape. This looks like it's been stained. Looks like some water damage to it. Or, again, maybe fell into some poopy water. Not sure. They're kind of glad the penny sleeves are on these. I think it's his second year card. Hal Brown. I mean, shape of the card is okay. It is a lot off-center, but definitely some damage to it. 79 Topps Cecil Cooper. And we rounded out with a 79 Topps RBI Leaders from 1978, Jim Rice and George Foster. That card's actually in really good shape. Very nice shape. And I think that might be worth, more than the common. It might be $1 at most. So, all right. Last pack. And I will make my assessment at the end of this to tell you my thoughts. Going into the last pack of these 10-card mystery packs. Again, vintage cards from 1950s to, says through the 1970s, but I'll say through 1980. Because we have received some 1980 Topps cards in here. No 81s, 2s, or 3s. But do have some 80s cards there. Alright. Last pack here. On the top was another 72. And it is Tommy Agee, one of my favorite players for my beloved New York Mets. Off center, left to right. The bottom is pretty dragged itself, but it's not a bad card. 1980 Topps Joe Coleman. Was him. Another Fleer Greats, Jim Bottomley. A 1973 Topps Billy Champion. Not bad shape. Third year card. We have a 1959 Topps Ruben Amaro. Also pretty dinged up, or actually well dinged up. I didn't see the big crease there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count the corner here too, at the very bottom. 4 major creases on that. So hard to count that as a his, is even as nice vintage as it is. 72 Topps Manny Sanguin, in halfway decent shape, except for some dinged corners. Another 71 Topps rookie stars for the Cubs. This time it's Jim Dunnigan and Rod Skidmore. Nice big crease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of creases on that one. And the back is pretty torn up. So, 1979 Topps Paul Splitteroff. 1971 Topps Billy Grabarkowitz. And 1979 Topps Dave Concepcion. Pretty off-center. Other than that, halfway decent card. Not worth, I think I don't think it's worth any more than 50 cents. So, again, a smattering of, somewhat valuable star cards, with certainly some Hall of Famers on it. So, Hall of Famers are included. There's Jim Rice, George Foster, 72 Burt Campaneris in halfway decent, pretty decent shape. 64 Casey Stengel I like a lot. 1980 Topps Eddie Murray and Johnny Bench, decent cards. And 2 more at 1979 Topps Tom Seavers. So, what is my assessment? When you put it all together, those are our mini hits. These are our kind of common or not that valuable cards, or just too damaged to really, have any value in them. So, all in, if I had 8 of these, I'm spending, close to $100. Is this worth $100? I don't know. I could go to a card show or a card shop and get, a lot more equivalent, probably a lot more for my $100, for all these hits and then some. And there are, like I said, a lot of commons and a lot of damage cards in here. But is it worth it for the hunt and for, for the sheer enjoyment of opening vintage cards? I'd say yes. Again, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think I would have appreciated maybe a little bit more of a chase to where you get maybe a $20 to $30 vintage card in every 5 or 10 packs or so that your odds are up. And maybe he does that. Again, I only got 8 packs. So there could be, he could have lined it with, a 1970s kind of rookie card, from somebody of a 20 to maybe $15 to $25 value in there. Would have make these chases a little bit nicer. But, I think there's some value in just, opening these for the hunt. And at, 12 or $13 really a piece, that's not bad. Go and get yourself a couple of them. See if you enjoy, get some decent cards yourselves, and go from there. So again, I'll put the link to his eBay channel in my description. And if you haven't seen part 1 already to see some of the cards that came out of there, please go check out that video. If you like this, please be sure to leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And leave a comment. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. If it's worth it, not worth it. What you like, didn't like about this. And yeah, because we always enjoy supporting the baseball card community and sellers on eBay, iBid, other places. And just like to have fun and keep this going. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.